Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. We are here. This is supposed to be a super hype week. If you didn't see my last video, I mentioned that based on the timeline we're on currently, it's looking like this week is actually going to be a pretty good week for news. We had this kind of on the docket. Hopefully we'll get more Animation Chronicle stuff and maybe in the first reveals for the next core set post Duelist Nexus, but we'll have to wait and see on that tonight. We are looking at 6 brand new Salamangreat cards. This is very hype. This is a deck that was arguably the best deck during TOS format for almost like 2 whole years. This was arguably the best deck in the game. So I don't think it's that far behind. I think that's something I want to preface this video with is I'm not expecting this support to be out of this world insane. It doesn't need to be out of this world insane. As long as they have a couple good cards that help them kind of expedite the level of like speed and power for the deck, they could be right up there with some of the better decks in the game. The deck feels like it's fallen to Rogue. It's not even tier 2. It's not even anywhere in that range, so we'll see how it goes. Let's jump into it though. Starting off here, we start with Salamangreat Weasel. Love this. Really cool artwork on this guy. He's really cool. He is a Fire Cyberse Tuner effect monster, level 3, 700 attack, 1400 defense, 2 hard ones per turn effects. The first one reads, if you have 2 or more Salamangreat monsters in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay, not terrible. It does take a little bit of setup, but what I do like is that a lot of Salamangreat extenders, like Spinny, requires you to have a Saladon field, right? Jack Jaguar requires you to have a zone to summon it to, right? Need a monster on the field. This guy does not need a monster on the field, so that actually is kind of nice in some scenarios. And is a tuner. Secondly, if a Salamangreat Ritual Fusion Synchro Exceed and or Link monster or monsters is special summoned to your field while this card is in your graveyard, target one other Salamangreat monster in your graveyard, place this card on the bottom of the deck, and if you do, special summon that monster to your opponent's field, then draw 1 card. Wow! So just like we keep getting more and more of these effects of just like cards that give your opponent a monster before they get to start their turn. And it's really strong. Whether it's stuff that just like specific archetypes like Kashtira that definitely get hurt by already having a monster on their field, turning off like Unicorn and Fenrir out the gate. But also, Poseid, turning evenly matched off, Lightning Storm off, right? Any of those cards that require you to have no monsters on field. It's pretty interesting. I mean, still draws you 1. Your opponent most likely won't be able to make that great use of the monster they give them, and it's super easy to trigger. They could have made this like way more clunky and just made it only these 4, but they threw links in there as well. So like you can just make a Balinx on the end of your turn and like boom, done. Super easy. So cool. Gets you a draw. Gives your opponent an extra card. Not bad. But like this could easily be like an easy one-of in the deck for sure. Moving on. We move to Salamangreat Tiger. I can't even tell what's fully going on in this artwork here. I'm sure it's cool. It's a lot. I can't fully tell what's going on, but I guess it's a tiger. Cyberse Tuner effect monster, another different tuner. This is level 5, 2000 attack, 500 defense. The first effect's a hard ones per turn. You can discard 1 other Salamangreat card to special summon this card from the hand. Not terrible. I mean, just jumps on the field. It does you kind of have to go -1 in the hand just to get him out, but is still relatively easy all things considered, and it's a deck that's graveyard, based anyway, so I like that. Plus I think about a card like Spinny, right? Pitch a Spinny for this and then just revive Spinny and then boom, you already have a Synchro 8 kind of setup. It's kind of cool. If this card you control would be used as synchro material for a fire monster, you can treat it as a non-tuner. Okay, because cool. It's a level 5 that can be a tuner or a non-tuner, which is really nice with this guy because he is a tuner. So being able to, if you already have access to this guy, just use him as the non-tuner is very nice. Once per turn, you can increase or decrease this card's level by 1. I'm not so sure how much that'll really matter. I really don't see Salamangreat going down a hard synchro route. Maybe there's like 1 specific monster. I think there's a new one here. Yeah, there's a new one here. So maybe that's like, I could see that one maybe seeing plenty if it's good enough, but I don't see them going into a ton of different synchros. But I don't know. I guess the option is now open. We'll have to wait and see. All right, new Link 4. This is definitely important. Not really sure what to expect here. The first one is not that good. Pyro Phoenix is not that good, but this is a new Phoenix. This is Salamangreat Raging Phoenix. He looks just a little bit cooler than Pyro Phoenix. Fire Cyberse, Link Effect Monster, Link 4, 2800 attack. He points up and then down, left, down, right, and down. 2 or more fire monsters. That's really nice, really generic. You can only use the first and second effects of this card once per turn. If this card is link summoned using Salamangreat Raging Phoenix as material, you can add 1 Salamangreat card from your deck to your hand. Okay, that is really interesting. It's very, very interesting. Second effect, if a face-up fire monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can target one of them, special summon this card, and if you do, it gains attack equal to that monster's. You know, this could have been just a little bit better, but it's still fine. This is like a whatever effect. You know, clearly the first effect is the main effect. And to be fair, this is kind of what I've been asking for. I'm not sure if it's going to be fully worth it, but in terms of, you know, just the fact that I've talked about this deck and I've said, hey, what I want with this deck is a more consistent, reliable way for us to end on both trap cards going first. This is a card where if you just get to him and then Reincarnation Link summon him, you get to search the second trap after you've probably sent and set the first one off of Gazelle and Sunlight Wolf respectively. So this does give you a way to just get another trap card in rotation, which is really good. It's big. It technically has a float here. I don't think this float's really all that impressive, but it's considerable. And I think it's an okay card. Now my question is a link 4 too high? I thought this could have easily been just a link 3 and done the same exact thing. If you're gonna make its good effect only work on Reincarnation summon, then like I think it could have been a link 3 because you already want to use your Reincarnation Link summon on Sunlight Wolf because it gets you the trap back you sent off of Gazelle anyway. So I don't know. Weird. I'm not fully in on this card, but it does hit a spot that I wanted to be added to the deck. So we'll see. From there, we move to Salamangreat Burst Griffin. This is a level 8 Fire Cyber Synchro Effect monster. 2000 for the stats, so pretty decently sized, and it's completely generic, which is cool. You can only use the first and second effects of this card once per turn. You can target one level 7 or lower fire monster in your graveyard. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except fires. Also special summon that monster, and if you do, reduce this card's level by that monster's original level. So nothing too crazy here. You know, just reborns a level 7 or lower fire. It's any fire, which is interesting, but there's not too much going on. There's not a ton of salad monsters that like are really good there. Plus it's level, so you can't reborn Exceeds or Links or anything. So okay. And if this card is synchro summoned using itself originally, so that's the idea here, is you reborn one of the tuners that you already used to make it, he lowers his level by the same amount, and you can immediately synchro summon into a second copy of himself. You can activate this effect. During the next standby phase, special summon one monster from your graveyard. That's just not good. That's just not good enough. What the heck? Special summon during the next standby phase? Summon a monster from grave? What monster is that? It's just not good enough. This monster is really underwhelming to me, for sure. Not super impressed with that guy. From there, we move to a quick play spell card. This is Salamangreat Charge, a quick play spell. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Activate one of these effects. So there's 2 effects. You get to pick one. Target 3 of your fire monsters that are banished and or in your grave. Shuffle 2 of them into the deck, and if you do, special summon the 3rd, but this turn its effects are negated. Also, it cannot attack. Okay, that's not terrible. Let's target any 3 fires that are banished or in grave. So that's even targeting something like a Spinny to, you know, be able to get Spinny back in rotation. Like summon Spinny, link it off for link 1. It's now left the field so it can reborn itself. You know, so that's kind of cool. Second effect, if you control a fire, ritual, fusion, synchro, exceed, or link is the big one there, whose current attack is different from its original attack, target one card on the field, destroy it. Is that like a normal thing? I guess like what doesn't the field spell, doesn't Sanctuary let you adjust the attack stat of your link monster in damage step? But this card wouldn't be able to. This card doesn't alter a stat, so I don't think it can activate in damage step. This is a weird one. I'd have to see. I honestly. Oh no, Spinny, right? You pitch Spinny to boost something. Okay, so I guess Spinny would be the bigger one there. Okay, that's cool. It can just be like a Dryad Ink card, which potentially. It's fine. Nothing too crazy, but fine. It's an interesting little addition. I like that it has two different effects that could be decent either way. In the final card here we have is Salamangreat Revive. This is a normal trap card. You can only activate both of its effects once per turn. Target one fire monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Cool. Just called the Haunted for fires. Nice. No restriction on position it needs to be in, so you can even reborn a Link. That's kind of cool. Second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a Salamangreat monster you control and one monster with the same name in grave. Shuffle the second target into deck, and if you do, the first attack gains attack equal to its own original attack until the end of this turn. So just an attack booster there. Cool, nothing too crazy, but does reborn a fire, which is interesting enough. What I'm seeing here interesting enough as well is that a lot of the support here is like pretty generic fire support, right? Salamangrates, a lot of their old effects are pretty salad locked, but this stuff is more fire locked. Which does open the door for some other potential just generic good fire stuff to see play. Right? Like this just reborning any fire monster, right? This card being able to target any 3 fire monsters in grave and go from there. This the second effect being live with any fire, extra deck monster, really, is cool. The Synchro revives any fire monster. This card, if any fire monster is destroyed, like lets you float. So I mean, like, yeah, there's definitely something going on here. I said prior to this video, I wasn't expecting any of this support to be out of this world, but to be honest, I still feel like there's something missing. And let's also key in on this as well. We have the number 2, 3, this is 4, this is 5, and then 6 and 7. So we are missing presumably one more main deck monster, which we do not have here. I think if you would put them in a core set and gave them one card, if it was a monster that said if this card is sent to graveyard, either for or to activate a Salamangreat effect, they could just say sent to graveyard, right? You can target one card on the field, special summon this card back to the field, and then destroy that card. That would have made the deck so good, because that means Gazelle on the opponent's turn is removing cards. It means Gazelle going second is removing cards. It means certain additional cards. I talked about, was it Salamangreat Gift is the other continuous trap. Like that card becomes immensely better in the deck. Pitching that card for Sign It Mining, summoning it, then linking it off. This card would be rotated so much, kind of like the new Teller Knight monster, who once he's engraved, if you summon a Teller Knight, he reborns himself, then pops a card. It'd be the same idea of that, except this deck is so much more mid-range where you're just doing it every turn. It almost would feel like an Unchained-esque card, really. But that would be really cool. That could be that would be the one piece of support that I think would really raise the ceiling on everything Salad does. And so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. But one more card, one more main deck card. I will say overall, this is a little bit underwhelming. I expected Synchro, but I also came into it thinking if the new Synchro is decent, then we're looking at something. But I don't think it's very good. So yes, it is still somewhat generic. It is still pretty generic, the Synchro support we have here. So we can just make 8s pretty easily and other, Synchro plays somewhat easily. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But other than that, I'm a little bit underwhelmed here overall. But we'll have to see where they end up. I want to know your guys' thoughts down below. So please throw that down below if you're, I've always been kind of a low-key fan of Salad, even though the only time it was really good is when I was messing around with other decks. So I never really played it too hard. I'm a lot more interested in it now. And so I want to know from people who have played it more regularly, what do you think from this new support? Good, bad, ugly? Give me a 1 out of 10 rating in the comments down below, and then also tell me why, what you want to see from that final main deck monster as well. But I am out of here for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe to the channel for more stuff from your boy down below, or down the line. More news coming this week. Very excited for that. I will see you in the next video. Peace.